Hello there. I am Carol Crafty Grandma, and today we are going to do part 2 of the Winslet wallet, which is a pattern I purchased from Hold It Right There. The pattern itself includes 5 videos, well actually 6 videos. 5 videos on how to do the basic pattern, and then a 6th video on how to add a wristlet to it. I'm not going to be adding the wristlet. I'm just doing the basic wallet. And in part 1, we completed through step number 7, I believe. Nope. Yes, 7. Yes, step number 7. I was right. All right. And during those steps, we completed making our basic credit card slots. There's going to be a top and a bottom credit card slot, so that's going to go there. And now we need to attach these to the slip pocket, which is letter E. So in part 1, we went through, we cut all of these out. The pattern comes with the labels, so we have all of our letters, so we know which pieces are which. And we're actually going to be using both E's. We're going to do the same thing. 16, 17, yeah. There we go. So just like we did the exact same steps on these 2 pieces to get these pieces, we're going to do the same thing with both of our E pieces. So E, E. These are 11 1/4 or 7 1/2 by 7 1/4, something like that. There's only a 1/4 inch difference between each direction, so you want to make sure you get them going in the correct direction. 8 1/4. All right, and so we want to make sure that we are at 8 1/4, 8 1/4, because this way it's 8 1/2. Yes. All right. Let's do this. Oh. Delete, delete, delete. There we go. Oops, nope, didn't work. Missed one. There we go. Okay, so on this piece, we marked our little notch at the top so we knew where the top was. And we are going to draw a line on both of these in 3/4 of an inch. So let's get a little ruler. And we are drawing it on the wrong side of the fabric. And the pen I am using is a Frixon pen, so it will go away with heat. So there's one. There's 2. And now on this, again, making sure we're at, this is the 8 1/2. This is 8 1/4. So you want to make sure you have the correct side. And on this one, on the 8 1/4 inch side, we are going up 1 1/4 inches. Now it's kind of hard to see on this fabric. You can kind of see it a little bit when I angle it up so that the reflection's there. Now again, make sure we are, this is the 8.5 inch side. This is the 8 1/4 inch side. And then we go up 1 1/4 inches. Okay. Now we are going to take and match up onto the line our fabric, making sure our edges are straight, everybody's where they belong. We're going to do the exact same thing with this piece. So again, you can barely kind of see the line there. And now we take our second piece, well, our piece with the card slots. Make sure everybody's even on the edges. So we're matched up. A little off center, just a little bit. Okay. And then we clip. Now, if you want to use pins, use pins. Either one's going to work. I'm just going to use my clips right now. And now we are going to take both of these over to the machine and sew on this line right here. Not on the other, not on the line on this, the purple fabric. We're going to do the line on the light fabric, the cotton fabric. And then we discussed in the first part that I do have my walking foot on, which is recommended by the pattern designer. There are going to be spots where we're going to need a zipper foot, so my walking foot does not have a zipper attachment, so I will have to switch to an actual zipper foot. But whenever we can, we're going to use the walking foot. And just sew straight down the line. Now we're going to do this second piece. Okay. So let's see, what are we doing next? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold down our card slots. So that the raw edge of the card slots matches the raw edge of our back fabric. Now, as you can see, it does appear here that I did a little bit of miscutting when I did this on that piece. But we are going to end up with a half-inch seam at one point, so we should be okay. We're going to do the same thing here. That's good. Now, I am going to press this. It's up to you. I like to get these things nice and sharp, and since it's been a little while since I did the pressing on the card slots initially, I am going to do it right now. If I had done this step immediately after having completed making the card slots, I don't know if I would have necessarily felt the need to press it. But in my world, it's been, let's see, 4 days since I made this. So I'm going to press it just a little bit. My iron's not hot yet. Let the iron get hot a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to baste and sew. It actually says to sew it. It does. FYI, I made one of these in the 4 days since part 1. I had hoped to have this one completed in time for the week, for what was my last weekend, and didn't. And I really needed a different wallet to go with a different bag. So I did complete one of these. So I have a pretty good idea, well, I have a really good idea of the steps that we're going to be taking. But some of them seem a little tedious to me. So right now it says to actually sew the card slots to the backing fabric. I am going to baste them instead of sew. Is it going to use any less thread? I think it will. But it also will put less, well, I guess it really doesn't matter because we're going to cut off the seams anyway. So I'll just sew it. So the directions say to sew with a 1/4 inch seam. So that's what I'm going to do. And since I'm using my 1/4 inch foot, I can sew from either side. And since this isn't very wide, I can sew from this side and I can still get my 1/4 inch because it's over here on this side of the foot. And that makes my life easier because I prefer to sew from the bottom to the top. I prefer being able to sew from the bottom to the top. That way I know that all the fabric is pushing in the same direction. All right. So now something I could have done before I went over to the machine, but I like to do it at this point just because I like to get everything sewn up and attached. We need to put a center line down these. So I like to have the edges attached and there. In most cases I would have basted, but like I said, I went with this. We're going to measure across the fabric. So from one end of the fabric to the other, which is 8.5 inches. So halfway is 4 1/4. So I line up with the bottom edge of the fabric, in this case the dark purple, and with the edge of the fabric over here. And now I'm going to draw a line. That way we can get our line to separate the two sections, because our cards are not, you know, the whole width wide. All right, let's line everybody up so we're square. Okay. And there we go. So now we have our lines. Over to the sewing machine we go. And this time at the top, so at the end of the credit card attachment, I am going to do a back tack because there's not going to be a seam attached at any point. That one done, and repeat. And so now you're going to notice that there's a big red line down the middle. Kind of can't see it on this camera, but there is a red line there. So I need to press. I'm not actually pressing these. Uh-oh. What happened? I lost a camera. I lost a camera. Hold on. What's going on over here? Okay. It powered off. That doesn't make any sense. Alrighty. Well, that's going to be a problem. Let's see if we can make the other camera work. that's going to be way too close. Yep, way too close. Okay, well, then here's what we're going to have to do. I am going to have to say goodbye for today. This was only going to probably take 2 parts. I really thought I could get it done today, but sadly, that's just not going to work. So we're going to have to finish this up. I do have part 3 scheduled for tomorrow, in my world tomorrow, but I am extremely sorry. We're going to have to figure out what's going on with that camera and get it fixed, because this one's just not going to work. So you have a great day, and I'll see you all for part 3.